Ladies and gentlemen, it is now 6:04 p.m. and a quorum of the members is present. So this meeting of the Board of Education of the School District of New Berlin is called to order. Please call the roll.
Ms. Crosby. Mr. Helmer.
Here.
Mr. Kurth.
Here.
Ms. Manley.
Here.
Ms. Schultz.
Here.
Ms. Unger.
Here.
Ms. Wondercheck.
Here.
I will entertain a motion to adjourn into closed session.
I move to recess into closed session pursuant to section 19.85, 1C, E, and F of the Wisconsin statutes to consider the approval of closed session minutes of November 23rd. B, the employment performance and compensation matters pertaining to staff, and C, discussion of a superintendent's evaluation.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Mr. Kurth.
Yes.
Mr. Helmer.
Yes.
Ms. Manley.
Yes.
Ms. Schultz.
Yes.
Ms. Unger.
Yes.
Ms. Wondercheck.
Yes.
Motion passes. We are moving into closed session and will return to open session at approximately 7 o'clock p.m. Gentlemen, it is now 7:17 p.m. and we are returning from closed session into open session in recognition of the serious and important nature, in recognition of the serious and important nature of our efforts here. We will join in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now for those who wish to prepare for the meeting, we will have a moment of silence. This is a public meeting of the Board of Education. Prior to this meeting, notice was given to the public last Friday by posting the agenda at each district school, the district office, and the city library. The agenda was also posted on the district website. Copies of the agenda were forwarded to the Waukesha Freeman, the Waukesha County Now, and the Journal Sentinel, all of which have filed requests for all public notices. Our first order of business is privilege of the floor. Any of the members of the public wishing to address the board were asked to email their comments to Diana Hansa prior to this meeting, and there are no privilege of the floor comments this evening. Then next is the president's message and announcements. Unfortunately, I have some sad news to share with everyone. As you notice, our president of the board, Amy Crosby, was unable to be here tonight with us. Amy suffered a medical emergency. We ask for your thoughts and prayers for her recovery and for her family during this difficult time. I know just a couple months ago, I stepped in for her when she was on a business meeting, and I shared with you that I felt that she had been a really good example set for the board. And I just want to reiterate that tonight, and I hope to be able to fill her shoes well this evening. The next agenda item is the administrative team report.
So Joe was having a little bit of technical difficulties, so this is Kelly. Can everybody hear me okay?
I can hear
Yeah.
you.
Okay, thank you. So we are going to start off our administrative team report with our sixth grade update. So can you go ahead and play that for us at this time?
School Board. My name is Justin Klosky, and I am a sixth grader at Ronald Reagan Elementary. I'm excited to share with you the great things that are happening here. This year sure has
reminder,
looked
we do
different
have
in
that
many
slight
ways.
delay.
One thing we are very proud of is how well everyone has adapted to the many changes. Students are wearing their masks, sanitizing often, staying as distant as possible, and using our mask-free zone at recess. This fall has been one of giving back here at Reagan. Our Reagan Gives Back program, led by Mr. Hetzel, collected money for Alzheimer's research in September. With the help of Mrs. Zarsky, our school celebrated Veterans Day to honor our Reagan community veterans. We raised over $1,500, which is enough to send 3 veterans on their honor flight to see their memorial. Our student council has also been busy. In October, they organized a Wear Orange Day to stand up to bullying on Unity Day. In November, they led the way in the school-wide food drive. We loaded an entire car full of food for the New Berlin Food Pantry. We also celebrated Kindness Day in November by giving each other corn dogs with positive messages. This month, they are holding a door decorating contest using a Candyland theme for both in-person and virtual students. Next month, we are looking forward to do a pop tab collection to support the Ronald McDonald House. Thank you for the great support that the school board and community have given Ronald Reagan. We hope you all have a wonderful, safe winter break.
So that is our Reagan report for tonight. And if the board has any questions for our Reagan student, please pass them along to me, and I will make sure I ask those questions and get those responses back. Next on the agenda tonight is our secondary student rep update. So I will go ahead and allow that update to continue.
Hi everyone. For an update relating to athletics, sophomore Sarah Schrader reached the podium in 2 events to help New Berlin-Eisenhower finish 13th out of 28 teams with 73 points at the WIAA Division II State Girls Swimming and Diving Competition. This last Friday, hosted by Waukesha South. Also, senior Sam Ludwig was named Milwaukee Journal Boys Volleyball Athlete of the Week. The winter season has started, and both boys and girls teams have been at hard work. More specifically, Kylie Lumberger led the girls' varsity basketball team's big second-half comeback as it beat Arrowhead 64-60 on Saturday at the Brookfield Central Thanksgiving Shootout. For an update relating to activities, National Honor Society will be hosting a blood drive on December 16th, and it is open to students and staff at Eisenhower. Ike UNICEF is hosting a holiday toy drive with the Salvation Army from December 14th to 18th. There will be donation bins located outside of the main entrance and security desk for those interested in donating toys. Ike DECA was named Wisconsin Chapter of the Month for its outstanding community service work. DECA is also hosting a Letters to Santa event this Sunday where every letter made donates $1 to Make-A-Wish. Thank you.
All right, I think I'm back, everybody. I apologize for my delay. Diana, can you confirm?
Yeah, so we can hear you.
You're on.
Great, thank you very much. As far as the superintendent's update, I'll hold until my comment about the COVID-19 update in the regular agenda. Thank you.
Okay, then the next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Are there any items that should be pulled out for separate consideration? Do I have a motion on the consent agenda?
Move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Kurth and a second by Ms. Manley. Any discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Kurth,
Yes, yes.
Ms. Manley,
Yes.
Mr. Helmer,
Yes.
Ms. Schultz,
Yes.
Ms. Unger,
Yes.
Ms. Wondercheck.
Chrislyn, you're on mute.
I said yes. I did. You guys not hear me?
No.
Okay. Sorry.
Gotcha now.
Sorry.
Okay. All right, the motion passes. On to the regular agenda. The first item is the COVID-19 update.
So I do have a presentation that I'll pause briefly as we do have a delay on the YouTube channel. All right, so what I'd like to do is start off by just like I did the last time, and share just the general case quarantine trends that we've seen. There are some caveats to the data that I'll be sharing today, and I'll mention that in a second. But as you can see, right around the last board meeting, we were seeing peak case and quarantine, both for students, as you see on this slide, and that of which you'll see on the next slide as well. But please know that the peak student quarantines were at 310 as of November 23rd, which would have been the day before the Thanksgiving break. And then actually our staff peak was sooner than that. And that was, we had peaked at staff quarantines on November 17 and staff cases on November 13th. But as you'll see on both slides, and if we can go on to the second slide, regarding the staff cases as well. So, and I think we might have some technology issues here once again, but we'll kind of work through here. But the one thing that I'd caution us on are that the trends are going in the right direction. They are going down. That's what we'd like to see. But we do believe that there may be a delay on some of the reporting that has occurred, not necessarily purposefully, but because it may artificially be declining because of the lack of testing that occurred on Thanksgiving Day and also the day after, and also that weekend. So we may see a delay, and again, we're looking at the numbers this week. They are starting to kind of creep back in the opposite direction, so they're trending back up as we would have expected. But again, I just wanted to be able to share this with you so that you knew where our current data sat. But again, there are some caveats to what you're seeing. If we can go to the next slide, please. Again, we continue to remind folks, if board members, and just like we do, if you're getting questions, we have a lot of great resources on our website, and we'll be posting this presentation to our website again tomorrow. That again highlights our daily dashboard, which I will talk about briefly in a following slide. That of specific COVID-19 info on our dashboard, that of to the School District of New Berlin. And then there's the county information that can be found on the county website. Next slide, please. One of the things that we learned that we needed to reiterate to our families, and again, this has just been a learning process for all of us, but we did have, again, a nice break, and again, we took an additional 2 days at the end. So not only did we were out that Wednesday before Thanksgiving through that weekend, and then we had students learn virtually asynchronously on Monday and Tuesday. Again, that was strategic, to allow our students to kind of catch up on their work and also kind of do some new learning. B, to allow our staff to kind of catch up, do some collaboration and further, having them get caught up and then touch base with students that needed extra help and attention. But then also kind of delaying, not knowing exactly what we were going to see as far as a peak of cases like we did experience after Halloween. So we're continuing to monitor our data on a daily basis and just kind of seeing what, if any, impact that had. I do know that other school districts actually took the entire week off because of what they had experienced over the Halloween festivities that weekend. So we shall see. Again, we're expected to, essentially see cases continue to rise. But point being is that when we took that extended break, not only did you have the holiday in there, but then those 2 additional virtual learning days. We are going to clarify to families, not only coming up here shortly, but also right before the break, that we do need them to report student and family cases to us over the break.
It just allows us to kind of stay on top of things and not be inundated with things as we get, come back from winter break. It'll allow us to, not only is it for families and staff, but also, not only for family students, but also for staff, so we can plan staffing accordingly. So we want to continue to conduct contact tracing over the break. We want to maintain the most accurate district-specific numbers possible. Again, we did see a substantial dip over Thanksgiving break. Could it be because we didn't get the cases reported to us? That's yet to be determined. And it'll allow us to require the most up-to-date data at the end of December, beginning of January, to inform any decisions coming out of break. We don't necessarily want to rely on county data because that lags slightly, but we are going to be asking families to contact Pam Jesse over the break, and she will be working along with our team of administrators throughout the break as needed. Now, obviously, we will make sure that they get their holidays in as needed, but we also want to make sure that we are playing through this as best that we can to stay safe, to stay open. So again, some of the things that we're trying to determine at this time is, may we need to take a couple days? And I guess I'll talk about that here on the next slide. But again, based on what we're learning, we're looking at possible scheduling changes or even calendar changes, as we've experienced already a few times thus far this year. Again, do we need to adjust, before or after winter break and or around the start of second semester? We may need additional professional learning days, some student catch-up days as we had last week, Monday and Tuesday, and possibly a hybrid schedule similar to the start of first semester that actually went well. Not sure if we would need like 2 weeks of that, but possibly a week because there are students and staff already accustomed to and succeeding with the current schedule. But essentially, as mentioned in the last board meeting, I had mentioned that we would like to move to an AABB schedule. We have rethought that through, and we're kind of taking the notion of why, if it ain't broke, why fix it? So we're going to just stay with what we know that is working. It's working for our kids. It's working for our staff. Could it have been slightly better? Yes, but at this point, again, we don't want to ruin a good thing while we have it going. And so, for all the reasons that are mentioned here, again, the contact tracing remains consistent with fewer student transitions. So again, we're just going to stick with what we are currently doing moving forward. Next slide, please. It's my understanding that board members did receive a question related to some discrepancy in the county data versus that of our school district data. It seems, so I did speak to the county and, so we meet every Wednesday. But the only Wednesday we did not meet was the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. But it ended up that on the 23rd, the day before Thanksgiving, something happened to the numbers at the county that essentially blew the numbers up so that there was a major discrepancy between the numbers that we were reporting on our dashboard to that of what was being reported on the county dashboard. As a result of that discrepancy, and again, it wasn't just in the school district of New Berlin, it was most Waukesha County schools that were impacted. We believe that there, and again, I haven't solidified this yet, but know that the numbers as of today have dramatically dropped at the county, so there's not as big of a discrepancy. But I have yet to confirm with the county what exactly happened that the numbers were, essentially inflated somehow, or something happened, and they couldn't really pinpoint it the last time I spoke to them. But we did put a disclaimer on our website, and so did they, notifying folks that the numbers were being looked at and will continue to be looked at. Like I said, we did see a dramatic decrease in the numbers that the county was reporting as of today. But please know that, The county was reporting significantly more active cases of children ages 0 to 18 within the boundaries. Now, mind you, again, not all of those students that 0 to 18 are in our schools. So kids, 0 to 5 may not be in our schools. 18-year-old graduates may not be in our schools. You've got your private school kids, kids that open and roll out, or kids that are homeschooled. And again, as mentioned, the county was made aware of this discrepancy and was investigating it. Again, it sounds like they've made some strides forward, but I'm not sure exactly what changed, and I'll be able to get an update and provide an update to the board after my meeting with the county on Wednesday. The next slide essentially focuses on the new C2C guidance that was brought forth late last week. Essentially, the CDC has updated their guidelines related to quarantining periods for close contact quarantines. They reduced the suggested quarantine of 14 days to either 7 or 10 days. 7 days if the person receives a negative test, or 10 days without getting tested. As of now, we have not changed how we handle quarantines. Again, per the CDC, 14-day quarantines still are considered the safest option. We continue to monitor guidelines and make adjustments based on suggestions from the county. It's my understanding that the county may come up with something as soon as tomorrow related to updating their respective guidance. Should that happen, we will meet with the pandemic response team. I will also be meeting with the county officials and Waukesha County superintendents on Wednesday. So we may not make a move right away until we get more clarification from the county and other area school districts. But we could possibly expect a change sometime yet this week. And then a couple final items. We are going to be sending a message to families about second semester educational options. Again, our families will have the option to choose virtual or in-person models just like they have now. We will not necessarily be doing a survey. Families only need to indicate to their school office if they are changing models from their current choice. So if they're going from in-person to virtual or vice versa, they'll need to let the school know. And because the pandemic hasn't improved, we will assume no change if we aren't notified from families. So for example, if Jeff Kurtz's kids chose to stay right where they're at and they don't notify the school, we're just going to assume their option is the same for second semester. Families do have until December 18th to request a change, but certainly as we currently are, it's a fluid situation. We're working with families on a daily basis, but we just want to have a general idea of what we will need to plan for staffing purposes, as well as determining whether students may have a different teacher or not come the start of second semester. And again, they have until December 18 to request a change. I did want to also, and I did include it in my this presentation, but we are asking those that attend our events or anytime they are in our school, we are asking folks to wear masks. We certainly, and this includes all of our extracurricular activities. We believe it's reasonable and rational to ask people to be masked up. Again, if we're following the mantra of staying safe to stay open, that is a safe method that's actually been working for us. Our goal and our goal is to make sure that we keep our students, staff, and the general public safe. And again, this isn't just during the school day, but also during after-school events. And so, again, because of the reasonableness and the safety precautions that we have in place, that is what we are requesting of our visitors, not only of our own families and parents, but also of the visiting student athletes and visiting parents, referees, and whomever at these events. And then again, this is the guidance that's been provided by the WIAA and suggested by the county. So with that, I conclude my presentation. Please know that I will be providing another correspondence to families tomorrow per usual with some of these updates. And it will also include this presentation. The message will also just continue to iterate to families that we need to continue to be diligent. I know that, we've been dealing with this pandemic for far too long, obviously, but we certainly cannot let our guard down, especially with the number of COVID cases that are out there right now and the level of transmission that's out there right now. So we'll continue to, and again, I'm very proud of our efforts, of our staff, of our students, of our families. I'm proud to be able to say that we've been able to stay safe, to stay open with minimal transmission at school. We continue to, and that's very telling, and that's telling of the incredible work that's being done by all. So again, I'll be clarifying that to families with some of these additional updates. And then on Wednesday, I'll be sending out a separate correspondence again about having families contact the school should they want to choose their respective option. I'm open to any questions.
Are there any questions?
No, just thanks for the update and for everything that it's a difficult, very fluid situation. So thank you.
Hey, Joe, have we gotten any update on staffing? I know we were talking before, we were starting to get a little bit closer to running out of potentially running out of substitute teachers in certain schools. Has that gotten better? It looks like the quarantine numbers are down, but obviously, like you said, there's a lot of dips in the numbers with the holiday and everything coming through. But is there any update on that?
Actually, Mitch, our numbers are we're looking even better the after my last report, and they're only getting better at this time. Now, again, that could change. So we are feeling very good about where we're at and being able to manage staffing wise. And so we're feeling pretty good about being able to, kind of get us through again this hot time during December to get us at least through the winter break.
I appreciate it and thank you. And as a parent with a student in school, thank you very much for everything you guys are doing. And you guys are doing a great job keeping the schools open.
Thank you.
Anything else? All right. I thank you too. It's been very nice to be able to have our children going in person. Our next item is the first read of policy 7230, gifts, grants, and bequests. This item is brought forward from the Finance Committee. Ms. Wonderchuk, do you want to present?
Sure, thank you, Janet. So this policy 7230 will be a replacement for our existing policy on gifts, grants, and bequests. This policy is a combination of our existing policy and the Neola policy, which was drafted in 2014. So our policy had some more specific requirements for the conditions of acceptance than the Neola policy. So those were added in consultation with the Finance Committee and our CFO, and the final product is before you for a first read.
Janet, you're on mute if you were saying anything.
Okay, sorry about that. Let's see. Per our board's practice, this is the first read of the policy. Any questions you may have between now and our next meeting, please direct them to Ms. Wonderchuk, of our chair of the Finance Committee. And I bring you up again, Ms. Wonderchuk, for the Finance Committee update.
Thank you so much. So I have the update for the Finance Committee. As you know, I'm the chair of the committee. The committee is composed of Mitch Helmer, Amy Crosby, and myself. So I extend my thanks to both of those members. I know Amy is not with us tonight, but Amy has been a vital and important member of this committee as well. And there again are, I mean, my personal prayers go out to her family at this point. So we're hoping to see her back soon on the Finance Committee and the board. This Finance Committee meets about 10 times a year on the fourth Monday of every month before our regular board meeting. We have not had meetings in July or December because we generally don't have 2 meetings in those months. At those meetings we do a monthly review of all the financial reports that have been provided to us by our CFO. In the course of the last several months since my last update, we have been presented with some new reports through our Skyward transition with the software, the new financial software that the district undertook to complete as of the first of this year. I feel like I can speak for the Finance Committee when I say that we have all learned a lot about the financial management of our district, and that we've asked a lot of questions of our CFO and gotten a lot of answers, which has been very helpful. We've received some excellent information from our CFO on the institutional structure of school funding and the various funds that are employed in the management fiscally of a school district like ours. This was all really important and I think especially helpful information for me to understand in terms of how the district is managed. We have also undertaken on this committee to review, to move, to amend policies that are financial in nature. So over the course of the last about year and a half, we have reviewed, moved, approved, and amended about a dozen policies since we began. We started out with about 15, so we have a few more to go, but I think that we've made excellent progress, and I'm very grateful to both Mitch and to Amy for their help, and especially to Patrick, our CFO, Patrick Miller, as far as those changes in the policy structure, which I think were long overdue, and I think will hopefully really help us to streamline some of the financial operations in our district. As a committee, we also established our goals, which are generally to facilitate more transparency surrounding financial matters, to provide additional oversight regarding the financial management of the district, and to review and revamp financial policy as needed. So our hope, again, in this committee is to really provide some additional transparency. All those meetings are open to the public. Anyone can attend, anyone can ask questions. And if we don't have answers, we can get back to you. The next meeting of our Finance Committee will be on Monday, January 25th at 5:30 at the Eisenhower Commons, unless we're virtual, in which case it's my understanding that we will be at 5:30 on January 25 online. So I don't have anything else on this update. Does anybody have any questions for me or the committee?
No questions? Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks, Janet.
You're welcome. This brings us to future meetings and date. Board meetings are generally held the second and fourth Mondays beginning at 7:00 p.m. in the Eisenhower
Excuse me, Ms.
Commons.
Schultz?
Yes.
I'm sorry, we do need to have action on the
Oh,
employment
I'm
services
so
report.
sorry. Yes,
No
thank you. Thank you for the reminder. I jumped over the action items on closed session. So actually, action items from closed session, I need a motion
Sure.
for those items.
I move that we approve the employment services report as presented.
Second?
Second.
So I have a motion by Ms. Unger and a second by Mr. Helmer. Call the roll, please. Oh, I'm sorry. Any discussion? Any discussion first? Okay, hearing none, please call the roll.
Ms. Unger?
Yes.
Mr. Helmer?
Yes.
Mr. Kurth?
Yes.
Ms. Manley?
Yes.
Ms. Schultz?
Yes.
And Ms. Wondercheck?
Okay, motion passes. Now it brings us to future meetings and dates. Board meetings are generally held the second and fourth Mondays, beginning at 7:00 p.m. from the Eisenhower Commons, unless noted otherwise. And so the upcoming meetings are January 11th and January 25th. As Ms. Wonderchek said, there's a 5:30 Finance Committee meeting. And then on the 8th is, February 8th is a board meeting. Other important dates to remember, December 21st through January 1st is winter break. And on behalf of the board, I wish you happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and I hope to see everybody in a happier new year in 2021. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so I have a motion by Mr. Helmer, second by Mr. Kurth. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All
Aye.
opposed? Any opposed? Then this meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.